Just now seeing this. Welcome back. Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. If you're familiar with Riley Gaines, she is that collegiate swimmer who has been pretty vocal about the idea of trans people performing in women's sports and women's athletics, and in particular the issue of Leah Thomas, if you recall, a person born a man as a transgender woman getting involved in college swimming and excelling and beating people who were born women in that women's sport. So interesting to see this tweet from Riley Gaines sharing a breakthrough ideas report. And just to take a look at this, Riley Gaines tweets, 16-year-old girl banned from YMCA and kicked off her swim team for opposing a naked male in their locker room. And to make matters worse, her older sister had to go through the exact same thing with Leah Thomas, but it's not really happening, quote unquote. And if you click through the Breakthrough Ideas article here, you get some more detail as to what's going on. This is obviously something we've talked about in the past, but it's something that YMCA has said is not happening, and they have yet to see any so-called receipts of this particular issue. But let's just go ahead and read some of this here. YMCA accuses teen girl of hate speech for opposing man in girls' locker room. Yet another trans culture offense against children. Breakthrough Ideas says women, decency, reason, and basic human rights has taken place. Such offenses will continue unless and until right-thinking Americans oppose that with courage and tenacity. Oh, and lawsuits. So it goes on further to say the Springfield YMCA Typhoons swim team in Springfield, Illinois, now allows biological men who pretend to be women to enter the girls' locker room, including when minor girls are present and undressing. The coaches and YMCA administration began this practice without telling any of the girls or their parents, they allege. Here's an excerpt from a summary provided by the father of one of the girl swimmers at the center of what should be a shocking event, and it goes on to provide that narrative. So, again, this is something we've talked about to a degree, but there really wasn't much there that we could further unpack because nobody was really willing to go on record to discuss the allegations, and the only people that were going on record was the YMCA saying that, they haven't had any complaints, and it's something I think you're probably going to hear a lot more of, especially since this has now been elevated by a pretty national figure, Riley Gaines. So if you are familiar with her on Twitter, you'll be able to see that link and share that, and I imagine this is not going to be the last time we hear about this moving forward. But one of those stories that's going to get a lot of attention here in Springfield as Breakthrough Ideas, an outlet that's organized and founded by former state representative Jeannie Ives. So obviously this is something that even Gaines further saying that here's the info for a press conference. If you're located in Springfield, be there. The news conference is going to be with a high school girl telling her story, and this is going to be part of the Illinois Freedom Caucus as well. So again, not the last we hear of this. So anticipating to get a lot more detail about these allegations, and obviously the YMCA is going to have to respond to these allegations as well as it moves forward here in the capital city. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. A lot more